let's get into actually how to read this deck. Now, originally I only thought this was more of a cardistry deck, which clearly it is, and the rest of the decks have this like broken border type feel, which is really cool for cardistry, and then this one didn't, and I was really disappointed. Now I've done a whole review on it, and you guys can check it up there in the corner and down in the description below, but I was really disappointed. I was like, man, this deck, it just seems to be lacking something that all the other decks had, because when you fanned the other decks, you could get a really cool broken border and it had a cool cigar band, and this one didn't. I was like, what? Why Orbit? Why did you do that? I was like, what the heck is happening? You guys just ruined your whole brand. And then later I figured out this is a marked deck. So the others have been clearly geared toward cardistry, and clearly you can still use this for cardistry. If you don't know who Not Shano is, you've seen this deck in cardistry moves before. It's a beautiful deck for cardistry. But this deck also has magic purposes. So you're out there doing cardistry and someone says, can you show me a magic trick, which most cardists hate anyways, and you can actually say, yeah, I can. And then you can go into some crazy mental and stuff, because this is a marked freaking deck. So, enough with me talking. Let's get into actually where the marking system is. So, at first when I was trying to read this, because I didn't know where the marking system was, I just heard that it was a marked deck. I was looking at these outside lines, and everything in that is the same. So a great test that you can do whenever you're trying to figure out if a deck is marked or not, you can do the Riffle Test. Now, here's how the Riffle Test worked. It's to see if a card in a deck is either a one-way design or a marked deck. And you can do this with literally any deck. It has nothing to do with just the orbits. All you have to do, so let's say you get it new out the box, you split it in half, you take one half and you flip it over, and then you shuffle it in. So, you now have it all shuffled in, completely done. And now the cards, some of them are facing up, some of them are facing down. So if anything changes during this riffle test, you'll know it's a one-way design. If everything looks the same, clearly it's a two-way design and nothing happens. You'll also see where the marking system is. So, when you're doing this, you'll just look up at this top half and see if you can find what is changing. Now, I know this might be kind of hard on camera because the riffle test is a little bit off when you're doing it for a camera instead of just like looking at it right here. You might have to do it a few times. You might have to get some good lighting shining into those cards, but I'm just going to let you know, every single deck that I've actually looked at, I've found something when I've actually looked for it. Not that all decks are one way, but every time that I've found a one-way design, it's because of this method. Some decks are really sneaky with that, and this method works literally 100% of the time. It's a fantastic way of finding a marking system. So the marking system is actually in the stars. It's not in those outer lines, it's not on the inside, it's in the stars. Now, you're like, okay, well, am I supposed to count them? Am I supposed to like figure out which place it is? No, it actually is blatantly obvious once you actually know where it is. It's a lot like the maiden backs. The marked maiden backs, how it literally just says like 7 of clubs. Like it has a 7 and a club. This one literally has a 9 and then a C. Or whatever it is. So if you look up here, it's going to be in the top left. You're going to find it about right here. And right there you're going to actually see that actually says something. So if you don't have this deck, clearly you can pick this up for 15% off in the description below. And I'm honestly just gonna prove to you guys right now that it's marked, okay? So right here we have 4 of hearts. So that's what it looks like. You can see where it is. I see 4 of hearts, and of course it's then the 4 of hearts. I'll do it again, 2 in a row. Right here we have the 8 of hearts. Right here, 8 of hearts. Let's try again. Third time to charm. This time we have King of Clubs. King of Clubs. Literally, it's 100% accurate. And it's not like something you have to, like a lot of David Blaine decks where like it's literally like a separation of a thousandth of a millimeter to figure out what the card is or the suit is or whatever. These are blatantly obvious once you know where it is. So, let me know in the description if you guys like marked decks. I've done a marked deck review of the Knock playing cards and of the David Blaine Private Reserve deck, the Skull and Bones. So I'll leave both those in the description as well so you guys can check out more marked decks. But at the same time, like, Do you guys like marked decks, or only if they're blatantly obvious, like kind of like this, but still more hard to find like this, or only if it's like literally on the front of the, like literally if it says 7 of clubs, or like what is it that, how obvious or not obvious do you want? Or are you like, look, I don't like marked decks, give me a 2A design, make it look cool, send me on the way. Like, where do you guys stand on marked decks? Because remember, Descendents playing cards is coming soon, so maybe that might be a little bit of a teaser, but that's enough teasing the deck. So I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. If you haven't subscribed already, please make sure to do so. This is Card Perfect, signing off.